Hello there, and welcome back to TerraFirmaCraft. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Now that we have enough beeswax, we can actually get started building a proper cellar from the Firmalife mod, because this is absolutely useless for preservation. I mean, it was a nice idea, but it doesn't work. So I have started preparing an area down here. All that will be removed, and we're going to have actually two segments down here up to about here will be our proper cellar, and then above this will be, I was going to say something more like a wine cellar, but where we're going to just store all of our barrels, since barrels with vinegar items don't necessarily need to be stored in the cellar. Therefore we can have two separate cellars, two separate storage locations. So now, to make the sealed bricks, we need sealed bricks. In order to create the cellar, we need bamboo and any sort of, is it any brick or bricks? And I think, yeah, chiseled bricks. Yeah, looks like just about any brick. So we're going to this here. That's not many, but it's enough to get us started. Looks like the deep slate texture from vanilla. The deep slate bricks. So we're going to do that there. And we're going to shovel out underneath here. Continue putting bricks, and we will have the door go here. If I'm going to go craft up that door, it requires some bronze rods. So I think I need to go craft up some more bronze as well. We're being serenaded by a creeper right now, so it's not exactly safe to go outside. He's got absorption and resistance. So we're going to keep working in here. And this is roughly the idea I was going to go with. Stick all of my barrels in this first level, just underneath the kitchen. And we're going to be changing out all these mud brick blocks up here, since honestly, that squishing sound you make when you walk in them is disgusting. I gotta get rid of that. We're gonna go for standard brick type. See if I can't find something nice. I do have a few different bricks. We have quartzite, andesite, have some dorite, schist, limestone. I might go with limestone. The limestone bricks, that's the same ones I have in the workshop, are pretty nice color. Oh, wait a minute. I have, where is it? Right here, we have gypsum, which means I can make alabaster. And from alabaster, we can then dye it to be different colors. I can make cyan colored tiles for the kitchen, or I can do a black and white, do a ebony and ivory kind of thing. Okay, we're going to use alabaster instead. But that means we do have to tear up the entire floor here, which is good because I need to replace all the walls down here with these silty loam. I mean, they look fine, they just sound terrible to walk on. And like I said, down here is where the actual cellar is going to be. There's a lot to carve out. Then once we actually carve out the cellar, if we look in the book, you go to Firmalife, you go to cellars, it tells you it's multi-block. We need a climate station. I think that's the exact same thing we needed for our greenhouse. Yep, exact same thing we need for the greenhouse. And that needs to be placed so it's touching the floor and one of the walls. The cellar is just a multi-block encased in the sealed bricks. Tells you how to make them. You need a sealed door to get in and out. And depending on the average temperature and how low it is, the lower it is, the better it is at preserving. It will actually lengthen the amount of time your food preserves for. And that's the whole reason we're building it. All right, we just made up some alabaster. It's pretty simple. You use the gypsum nugget plus your chisel to give you the alabaster bricks. You get 4 per nugget. And then just same recipe you use for all the bricks. 5 of the bricks plus 4 mortar gives you, in this case, 4 brick blocks. And now we're going to dye them. A few episodes ago, we made some blue dye. I think we made white dye also by boiling 1 dye plus a bucket of water in a pot. So I did that, made up some black dye and some white dye. We're going to make, since I'm going to stick 32 in at a time, we're going to stick 32 of each black and white in, dye those up, and then we're going to do the checker pattern in here. Quick measurement says there are 70 blocks, floor blocks in here, so that's what we're gonna do. And here you see a little more of the progress I made moving everything down here. These will be moved further down, but we're just gonna stick all of our barrels up here, unless after testing, barrels benefit from being in a cellar. If they do, then we'll move some of our vinegar barrels down there, but these barrels where, you know, we make the olive oil, the yeast, where we make up the vinegar, those can stay up here. I can't wait to put a new floor down. I'm getting tired of that sound. All right, and now we have, well, half of the, about, not half, got most of the blocks we need. So we're literally just gonna do an alternating pattern. Maybe I'll make a chess piece and stick it in the corner just for, because it does now look like a chessboard. And strangely enough, use a shovel to mine out these loam bricks and not a pick, which you would imagine you'd use for bricks. I should be able to turn these into stairs, but I haven't tested. But yeah, this is looking much better now. 5, we have 15, and we have 11 blocks, so yeah, we have enough to finish this. But this will break when I mine underneath it. Yep. And there, we'll just repurpose the loamy bricks as walls once again. But now the kitchen looks nice, although it is quite echoey. Here's the juxtaposition. It is 85 degrees in my room with 50% humidity, and I step outside my base and it's snowing. And it is only, it's October 12th, and it's already snowing in my base. Well, I've got to go back as soon as it's daytime again and collect a lot more apples, since apple season is the best time for me to stock up on making cider. Though I do have tons of barley I just collected, I can make whiskey. But so we collect cider, it's all fermented down into vinegar at this point. Grab some apples. See, I think it's 20 actually per barrel. Ferment it down to cider, and once it becomes cider, you just toss another 32 apples in and turn it into vinegar. But now we've got even more vinegar to store with. Oh right, I was gonna stick some of this pork in so it doesn't go bad on me. It's got 3 days, so once the vinegar is well, it might have 2 or 3 weeks. Not that I'm short on pork. I only have like 50 baby pigs running around. Oh, so I was incorrect. If you get animals up to 100% familiarity, they do actually yield more. I'm not sure how that all adds up. I was shearing some sheep earlier, and they gave me 2. Whereas if I look at a sheep with only less than 100, he only gave me 1. So, you do want to get them up to 100% familiarity. They will provide higher yields. And when they have babies, the babies will be closer to 100 already, and so getting them up to 100 will be easier. Not sure how that works with meat animals like pigs. I know size dictates how much they give, but I wonder if also increasing their familiarity will increase their meat yield as well. Oh, and I went and got myself a few quail. And yes, I have to do it this way, otherwise they will get out. I've got like a double airlock going on. Oh, and here we go. We have a fertilized egg that will hatch in 8 days, and we'll have another quail. So yeah, double airlock is to keep them from getting out of the little coop. And then a 2-high fence is in case they do get out, they can't get free. Oh, and I want to test. I am pretty sure you can feed rotten flesh to pigs, and it will have no negative effect. Since they can eat any rotten food. Yeah. Okay, they eat rotten flesh. So if you need to get rid of rotten flesh, apparently pigs are your answer. And right now, I'm only feeding the piglets. I want to try to get them all up to 100% familiarity. Since all the grown-up pigs are, well, They're maxed out, and I really don't need more piglets right now. And we're about ready to finish up the cellar. First, we just need to grab our blue stained glass from our barrel, and we can run downstairs to where the cellar is almost done. Just like that. And then we need to make just a few more sealed bricks, make the sealed door. I need to make one additional sealed brick. So there we go. And then if we stick this there, now we have a completed cellar. And we have our barrels up here. Oh, I forgot a brick. I'll fix that in a minute. And then we'll finish off these two walls with more of these mud bricks. But now we have our cellar complete. I will be putting some lanterns in here as soon as we have a little more olive oil. But to make the olive oil, we need to make some stainless steel. And I actually have that just about ready to go. We have our nickel and chrome here. And we have, I definitely put 8 things of charcoal in there, and now it's down to 7. There we go. So let's grab my fire starter. Light that up. We're gonna make some pig iron. We're gonna make the pig iron, and then we will make some stainless steel. There's something about that that's just satisfying. It's also in here, along with the nickel, and the chromium has already melted. We need this to be white so we can melt that. And this needs to be brilliant white also. And once they're fully melted, we will have stainless steel, which we then have to turn into double ingots and then into sheets. And then we can craft up the vat and the jarring station. And the jarring station you can put under a vat or next to a vat. And when you craft something in the vat, it will automatically drain into jars next in the jarring station. There we go. We got stainless steel. Start casting it out. I may have just run into a small problem. These do not want to leave the fire ingot molds. I'm not sure why. I should be able to drain these. Yeah, you can drain them back out into the mold by bringing them up to temperature. Let's see if I can get the stainless steel to cast using a regular ingot mold. Yes, okay. So for some reason I cannot use the fire ingot molds, but a standard ingot mold I can. That's a little bit of a problem in that this is the only one I have left, and if it breaks, I am in trouble. Oh, I do have a bit more clay, so let's literally crack out the last of my clay, make 2 more molds. Stick them in there. Oh, we got lucky. None of the molds broke on us. Now that this is cooled down just a little bit, I can toss these back in, get them up to temperature. Oh, look. Our last ingot broke. Our last... one mold broke, but was the last one. So we got lucky in that regard. Those are hot enough to weld. And now, if we grab some wax, we can make our vat. And this takes treated lumber. Treated lumber is, you get treated lumber the same way you get the sealed bricks, in that you do a craft of 8 lumber plus a beeswax, gives you the treated lumber. You do it like that. That gives us the jarring station. And then I do want to make an ashtray, but this takes raw iron, not stainless like I initially thought. So that's, I can wait on that. I'm gonna want to make another stove. I need to make another bottom stove. I need to go out and get more clay so I can make another bottom oven, and so I can expand this oven by another 6 bricks or so that way. I think I'm gonna be good on olives for a while. Okay, so here's what we've got. I made a vat. It's got 10 buckets of water in. That should take 50 olives. Do I have to add them individually? Looks like 50 olives will give it enough. Well, 50 olive paste will give it enough to make 10 buckets of olive oil water, which again we then use the jute netting to turn it into olive oil. So we're going to do that. This is our second oven. It is not yet been cured. You cure it by sticking logs in and lighting it up. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up underneath both of those for the time being, and we're going to craft up quickly the ashtrays. Salt, raw iron sheet, and sealed bricks. We actually want 2 of those. And we can stick them there and there, both underneath the bottom oven. And stick that back. We're not going to be able to reach them easily. That's not too much of an issue. And now, as you burn stuff, there's a 50% chance per log that's burned, it will produce 1 wood ash and add it to the ash tray. Which then we just click on it and we'll be able to pull out any ash. And we can use the ash for fertilizer. So we have our vat with all of the water and the paste. If we wanted to jar it, if we want to jar directly from the vat, you see how there's that little spout there? If we angle this, I figured this would be easier to do than it's turning out to be. Whatever. If we angle it so that the spout is facing the jar, the spout of the jarring station is facing the vat, it will automatically add anything from the jarring station, anything from the vat directly into the jarring station. If you have jars already in there, it will automatically jar for you. So let's fire that up. When that gets hot enough, it will cure, as will the chimney behind it that I just set up. And then this will boil, and when it's done boiling, we will have plenty of olive oil water. That took no time at all. I walked away and it was done. Let's make up a barrel for it. Let's stick that barrel right there for now. Actually, I'm doing this the hard way. I could have probably just clicked directly with the barrel onto the vat to get everything out. Since you can do something similar with a bucket here, I just swap my inventory around a bit. Shift clicking will dump anything from the bucket directly into the vat. Run down, get a little more water, and we'll cook up another batch of paste while we're at it. And you need to seal it by shift clicking before it will start cooking. And to prove my point, there we go. We just empty the entire barrel into, well, the entire vat into the barrel. Now we got 2 barrels full of olive oil water. If I remember correctly, it takes 1 net per quarter bucket. So 4 nets for a bucket, which means I'll need 40 nets per barrel. And I just moved it, fixing my inventory a bit. We have 8. So I need to make up 32 more nets before we can empty out these barrels in their entirety. I could otherwise just bucket out 2 barrels at a time. And now that I've got some lamp oil done for these 2 lanterns, we can pop them in here so it stays lit up in here. Since I actually had a creeper in here before, that would not have turned out well if I hadn't spotted him before he had a chance to explode on me. All right, so now we have some light in here. What we want to do is craft up a jarbonet. These can go on the walls, and then we can store jars in there. Let's see. I have some empty jars. Let's see if I can just place the empty jars in or not. Does not look like I place empty jars in. Reverse craft, put some honey in, and yes, okay, the jars, you need something in the jars for them to go on, but it looks like you can hold 6 jars per jarbonet. And then we want to make a food shelf. Only gonna be able to make 1 for now. And by putting stuff on this shelf, it should last longer. So this has 12 days in the vessel. has 6 days invalid cellar. 15 days with the door closed in the jar. I mean, in the food shelf. All right, so this actually lasts longer than those vessels I have upstairs, but they can only hold 1 food item per shelf. So I can only stick apples in one. I need a separate one for cabbage, etc. and so forth. How well does it do with one of these? Should have looked first. These potatoes have 1 month and 0 days. And if I place them here, they have still 1 month and 0 days. Okay, so the vessel does not benefit from the cellar, but if I put it in a food shelf, it will. And then I did want to test one of our barrels. These apples have 4 months and 16 days. They are preserved in vinegar in a barrel. If I put them here, 4 months and 16 days. So, vessels and barrels of stuff preserved in vinegar do not benefit from the cellar. Okay, let's try that again. So, food in vessels and in barrels do not benefit from being in the cellar. But if you take the stuff out of the vessel and stick it in a shelf, it will last longer. So we're going to fill this up. And it's not too expensive, as you saw. I need 6 per... It's enough for another 2. Oh, those rotted also. Alright, these have 6 months in the vessel. Will they go in here? They will. There we go. Gotta hit the climate station after storing, otherwise it... Right, that was 15 days. I'm just confusing myself here. So if you store something, you need to then hit the climate control station to sort of lock that in. So these potatoes were a month in there. They are 12 days in my hand. Oh, you know what it was? I put down the shelves, so it was invalid. Now it's a month and 6 days in the shelf. Very nice. Now I will slowly add to this over time. And then I will also add 2 copper lamps in here, so I can take out these torches and not have to worry about constantly coming down and relight everything. There we go. That looks much better. Oh, look, our first what was it? A quail egg hatched. Let's see. You still need to be maxed out. And you need to be fed. And they're already maxed out. And so yeah, they will use these nest boxes. They'll lay eggs in the nest boxes. Unfertilized eggs. Well, you can cook fertilized eggs. That's not an issue. But I tend to leave the fertilized eggs because they will hatch. I take the unfertilized ones, and then we can make food with them. I feel like I'm leaving Fort Knox getting out of there. And we've expanded out some of our storage a bit more. Added some more apples. Canned some lemons since they were getting close to expiring. And I made hangers. These hangers are good for storing garlic and meat on. I think you can store any sort of meat. Smoked, cooked, raw. And the hanger gave me an achievement. As did canning the fruit. But I think we're going to call it an end here for today. Next episode, we are going to go, I think, on another adventure on our boat. Now that it's winter. Or now that it's snowing, as you can see from the mini-map. We're going to go looking for some more maize, some more papyrus, maize. See if I can't find bamboo. That's going to require me finding a jungle biome. And as far south as we went last time, we did not find a jungle. So it might take a while of searching. And then after that, we'll work on adding more features to our greenhouse, so we can grow more stuff during the winter. But until then, I want to say thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Later.